Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers.
Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Hump Day Wednesday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that yesterday was the start of the season, and we had two marquee matchups on TNT. But as you know, what we are going to focus on today is what many of us who are fans of the Los Angeles Lakers and fans of LeBron James and people that follow this channel and watch this channel on a regular know that that is what we discuss first and foremost, as always. This is Los Angeles Lakers. And I know a lot of people saw the game last night, and you saw a lot of reaction across the internet just saying, man, look, I'm not staying up late watching this. This is just going to be one big disappointment. The Lakers are going to do this to us again, and you know what? I'm not one of those people, because I saw some things from the Los Angeles Lakers last night that I really think that they can build on. Now, that is me, of course, being the optimist that I am. I know a lot of people might want to call me delusional, and I know I'm going to touch on some things that, of course, the Los Angeles Lakers need to work on, but I'm also going to touch on some things that I think that they did well and some things that I think that they can improve on. So first and foremost is, let's just get this out of the way. For the Lakers to have to come out basically with the whole new roster besides that of Westbrook, Reeves, LeBron, AD, and Wayne and Gabriel, who played, at the waning parts of last season, who was a late pickup during the season, who didn't get a whole lot of playing time in Vogel's staggered rotation anyway. But with all that being said, they have to build continuity and they have to build trust in one another and chemistry, more importantly. Now, with the Golden State Warriors, they already have that, being the championship team that they are. Of course, that main foundation has been together for so many years, and we know that's the reason why they won 4 championships out of the past 8 years. And kudos to Klay Thompson for giving props to KD last night for winning 2 of those championships and saying that they probably wouldn't even have all 4 of those if it had not been for KD. So at least he respects that and understands and respects his opponents that he went against. But at the end of the day, hell, they could have more had KD and Klay not been injured in the finals against Toronto. But that's another story. So my point is, Golden State, they have great chemistry. They have continuity. They know where they're going to be. And even Coach Ham alluded to after the game, a lot of that is not even necessarily set plays that they run. It's just a matter of them knowing where they're going to be and, how to react to one another's movement with and without the ball. Not saying that they don't run a lot of set plays. That's not what he's saying, nor is that what I'm saying. It's just that when you know each other, then it makes it a whole lot easier to communicate, not only on the offensive, but especially on the defensive side of the ball, just like Draymond Green, who is the anchor for that defense and can call out all these plays and, can pretty much guard 1 through 5. I dare say he is probably more important to the Golden State Warriors defense than Anthony Davis is to that of the Los Angeles Lakers defense. So now that I got that out of the way, we can talk about, some bright spots. But let's just kind of, before we get into the good, the bad, the ugly, let's just talk about how the game kind of developed. And to me, I thought the Lakers came out and showed a lot of energy. I will say that Golden State didn't play the best first quarter. The Lakers didn't play the best first quarter either. So at the end of the day, you can't, blame either of the team for not going out on each other, because it was some good defense being played. But of course, you got to get that opening night jitters out of the way, and of course, find yourself to get into a rhythm. And of course, LeBron James, he came out very cold from the field and didn't end up shooting a very good percentage overall. But one thing about LeBron I would like to say is, when you come out and you're not getting it done from the three-point line, which you were not, he ended up shooting 30% from 3 out of 10. So out of the Lakers, I think 43s that they shot, 10 of them was by LeBron. And I think that's too many. And I know people, his three-point attempts have trended upwards for the past 3 or 4 years. Of course, as he gets up in age, he's not going to always dominate and get to the basket. We saw last night that he could dominate and get to the basket at will a lot of times, but because of his age and the energy that it takes to exert to finish at the rim, because Wiseman, I tell you what, Wiseman was looking good last night as far as his ability to be able to dive towards the rim on the offensive end, but also to be a protector of the rim. So you just got to give props to the Golden State Warriors from drafting good from day one. Even when they had that down year, being able to draft Wiseman was huge. So, I mean, they're talented as far as how they scout and how they develop players. Because I'm telling you right now, had Wiggins stayed in Cleveland with Kyrie and LeBron, who knows what they could have developed into. And I bet you LeBron may be kicking himself now because a lot of people say he orchestrated Wiggins out of there and Kevin Love in there. And at the time when LeBron went from Miami to Cleveland, I was excited thinking, man, Wiggins on that wing with Kyrie Irving and LeBron would be dangerous, but it was just not to be. I guess LeBron wanted to play with a veteran, and I think that is what's coming back to bite him now, playing with veterans such as Anthony Davis, who is not, he's great with LeBron, but at the same time, LeBron has always been successful when he's surrounded by shooters because nobody other than him can find, nobody can find players better than he can as far as his ability to distribute, his ability to get to the paint, sink the defense in and kick open the open shooters, which was always what he started in Miami. But he moved on to the second stint in Cleveland. And when they found success, even as the first year as the Lakers, when they first won the championship in the bubble, because you had 3-and-D players like a Danny Green and a KCP, which I still don't know why they got rid of these players in the first place when all you had to do was pay them minimum money. But now you're paying $45 million to a Russell Westbrook. But anyway, all that is besides the point. I know a lot of pundits and people are saying that the Los Angeles Lakers have absolutely no chance. They're lucky if they finish 8th or 9th. To me, I still think that is not necessarily the case because I'm not going to start giving a true and fair evaluation of the Los Angeles Lakers until we get to at least game 8 or 9. Let them get some games under their belt and develop chemistry because even training camp and preseason is not developing chemistry because you're not even playing full games. And speaking of full games, I think, what kind of, slowed the Lakers down last night was that of Pat Bev. As far as him getting into foul trouble because that messed up the rotations for what they had pre-planned for the game. So, Pat Bev, he came out, he got two very early fouls, I want to say within the first 2 minutes of the first quarter, which, that brought in none. So now of course, the Lakers had the injury bug. They already down Thomas Bryant, who I thought was going to get some valuable minutes in the front court because they are loaded in the back court but don't have many front court people. When I say loaded, I mean overstaffed. I don't mean like awesome as in three-point shooting because we know that's what they have a lack of. But what I'm saying is as far as personnel, so with Thomas Bryant going down, that, of course, made Anthony Davis play the majority of his role at center last night. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember seeing Damian Jones. Maybe it's just a blur to me. Maybe it was just that terrible when he came in, he didn't play. But I don't think he got any playing time last night for the most part. We saw Gabriel, we saw AD, and we saw LeBron playing in the front court positions. But at the end of the day, Pat Bev came out and got the 2 early foul troubles. And, of course, the Lakers don't have Schroeder. So now that you don't have Schroeder, that means Westbrook is going to get more playing time, which, by the way, I thought Russell Westbrook played decent. I don't think he played a terrible game last night. I think he might have hit 1 out of 3 threes. One of the shots was awful. He did make one. The crowd kept daring him to. He did, have some confidence in himself, but he was making it to the rim. I mean, he had 11 rebounds, so he was all over the place when it came to boards, even though some of them was like on a free throw where he's stealing boards from Anthony Davis, which, that's just rush for you. He going to jump out and show he can get the ball. It is what it is. But a lot of times, he was getting valuable rebounds. But when the Lakers was most dangerous is when they were running, and you could see that they played some great defenses in stretches of the game. So going back to what I was saying, Pat Bev, he comes in, he fouls early, and that kind of throws out the rotation. And then you had the first and second quarter. The Lakers were only down by, 4 in the first quarter. Then in the second quarter, they lose that quarter by, another 3 or 4. And at the half, they only down, 6 or 7 points. So the game is still within reach. Now, we know all the last season, the Lakers were a terrible third quarter team, and they started out doing that again this quarter. So I wish Ham would have suggested to them, let's go out and keep focused. We right here. But ultimately what happened is the Golden State Warriors went on a hell of a run. And really what started that run is, I'm going to go back to Pat Bev again. and I'm not trying to give Pat Bev too much credit or take away, give him too much hell for saying that it was his fault that the Lakers lost by any means. But my point is, going back to Pat Bev, is he had the 2 early fouls in the first quarter, which threw off the rotation. So now you reset, you come out. This is the starting lineup you want to run with to see what you guys can do as you start to develop this chemistry. And of course, Pat Bev, you come out and within the first first minute and the first 30 seconds of the quarter, boom, you pick up your 4th foul. So right when it happened, I was hoping that Darvin Ham would have just said, you know what, it's the first game of the season. He getting physical. Just let him be careful. Just let him continue to play. If he picks up the 5th one, then I sit him for the rest of the quarter. He can come back in the 4th or whatever. But, it was the coach's decision at the time. He probably knew Pat Bev is not a very disciplined defender when it comes to things like that. He kind of reminds me of a Tony Allen. He's very aggressive. So he elected to sit him. As soon as he elected to sit him, that's when Klay Thompson caught fire, because now you have Nunn, who is too small to guard Klay Thompson, and Klay Thompson started having his way, and once he caught fire, and that's the thing about the Warriors, they're so dangerous, and we're going to talk about how they ended the game later. And I mean, for Steph Curry, from what Steph Curry shot from 3, it wasn't even, maybe 4 out of 11, 4 out of 12. It wasn't the best performance from Steph Curry, either from the 3-point line, even though he ended up with over 30 points just like LeBron, but he wasn't very efficient, and you would think that would be enough. But of course, the Warriors just they're so deep when it comes to talent. And, I want to talk about some of their talent here in just a second. But, before I do, we want to talk about the unforced turnovers that, the Lakers had. The Lakers had 22 turnovers overall. Darvin Ham talked about that after the game. He said he's not a coach who harps on turnovers because he knows that is going to happen. The other teams are going to force turnovers, some good plays. But he's talking about the ones that are unforced, like stepping out of bounds, doing things like that, which, of course, Russell Westbrook did again tonight. So that's something that he wants to have cleaned up, and that's something the Lakers have to clean up in order to compete. But going back to what I'm saying, the Lakers, by having no chemistry, this team is basically their first game together with all these new pieces, and to come out and go to the opposing arena with them celebrating their ring, a well-oiled machine such as that of Golden State, and to expect a victory would have been something that would have been asinine to me to expect that victory. So, as the season wears on, now I think we can evaluate the Lakers more, because once they develop that chemistry, and of course, LeBron said after the game, the Lakers did not have laser shooters on their team. Of course, people are going to use this as soundbite and make it seem like LeBron is throwing his team under the bus, but he's just being honest. And he said himself had a bunch of open looks that he just didn't hit. And he says, there's some teams daring people to take shots, and sometimes it's them getting open looks based off ran plays. That's what Ham said, that they basically had a lot of plays that ran that got shooters open. I mean, Reeves had some good looks. Pat Bev had some good looks. LeBron had some good looks. AD had some decent looks. But at the end of the day, the shots weren't falling, for the Lakers. I mean, if you want to just strictly, if you think about it, though, if you break it down from a first half, second half comparison, Golden State has all the chemistry in the world. The Lakers trying to develop that chemistry. They were only down by 6 or 7.5. But, in the first half, I think the Lakers really defended the 3-point line very well. The Lakers, they were terrible from 3-point line in the first half. They shot 3 out of 21, but Golden State had only shot 5 out of 20. So they were, really closing out on the 3, and they were rotating well, and they was fighting over screens pretty good. But then in the third quarter, they let it all just fall out and collapse again, because Pat Bev went out with the foul. Klay Thompson got hot. I will say there were some bad calls by the refs, not blaming the refs, but when there's going to be bad calls against you and for you. That's just part of the game. That's the nature of the game, but it's how you react to it. So there's some times where AD was definitely getting contact, and he would go down, and the referees would not give him the call. And then, that's causing you to react late and not get back. Like I said, the bright spots was the Lakers. They played great defenses at stretch and forced a lot of turnovers, because if you look at it, the Lakers, forced Golden State into 18 turnovers, but the Lakers had 22 turnovers themselves, being careless and also being forced into some. But the Lakers' points off turnovers was 27. Golden State only had 17 points off turnovers. So the Lakers, they won the paint battle. They clearly can score in the paint. That's not the issue. We know it's a 3-point shooting league, so they have to solve some of those issues. But if you go back to what I was saying, LeBron, if your 3 is not falling, then don't keep taking them. Don't take 10 threes a game. That's wasted possessions. Bully your way into the goal, into the rim, or create for others like you've been doing so you can get more points, because these possessions, when you miss threes, that leads to quick let-outs and leak-outs for the other team. And, the Lakers need to get back on transition defense if that's the case. But, if you look at the total shots, the Lakers shot 40 out of 93 for 43%, and Golden State shot 45 out of 99 for 45%. So if you look at it, that's damn near the same, 45% to 43%. They hit 5 more shots, but they had 6 more opportunities, which is because of the rebounds, and which is because the turnovers, because the Lakers had more turnovers than they did. But at the end of the day, the Lakers started to come back. Pat Bev, when he came back in the fourth, his defense was tenacious, and his defense is what really brought them back. And, at one point they had cut it to 12, and Anthony Davis and LeBron James was in the game, and they got another steal, and they was on the fast break. But I don't know, a miscommunication between LeBron and AD on the fast break. LeBron threw it to AD. He fumbled the ball. They lost it out of bounds. And, they could have cut it to 10 and kept building the momentum and put more pressure on them. But it was just not to be, because Wiggins, I can't say, to me, Wiggins right now is the second best player on the team. Not Poole, not Clay, but Wiggins, because of what, Clay used to play that great defense, which he still can. But Wiggins, he is a very capable defender. And when I'm talking about the Golden State Warriors and their defense, you got to look at Looney, Draymond, and Wiggins, because all of them can switch on pick and rolls. Even Looney, when he gets caught out there against somebody else, you can see when he got caught against LeBron, LeBron had trouble getting to the basket, even though he kind of, I think, settled for a jump shot. I think LeBron should have pressed the issue. Get this dude a foul, man. Go in on him all you can. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I think the Lakers are still very capable of building chemistry. Like I said, I think Russell Westbrook played a decent game. I'm not going to blame a whole lot on him. He played more so under control. He got some buckets in some moments. He had the great alley-oop play that he had. When they were trying to build some momentum. At the Lakers, they really outscored them in the fourth quarter. You could say Golden State let off the gas. Which of course all teams have a tendency to do that when they go up by as much as 27, which they did. But just for the Lakers to fight and get into it, I think you can learn and have some teaching moments for what they did. I think Lonnie Walker is only going to get better. I think he showed some good spurts last night. But I think the addition of Schroeder coming back is going to be key, because then you're going to have a key ball handler in there who's more capable of spreading the floor, even though he's not the greatest three-point shooter, because that's something the Lakers lack. I think before the trade deadline, that is what the Lakers' main mission is going to be, is to try to maybe still get rid of Russell Westbrook. $45 million for somebody to get that off of their books is going to be big for them, and maybe find a way where they can get some shooters onto the team, because that's the only way that they're going to have a chance to compete for a championship. Even with the constructed squad right now, I still say that they can finish 6th or 7th and maybe even be dangerous in the playoffs, depending, because teams are going to have injuries. There are going to be things that's going to happen, but the Lakers are going to build more and more chemistry and continuity. They don't have really good three-point shooters, but they have capable three-point shooters. Austin Reeves is capable. You just got to get in the gym and get better. I've seen people that couldn't, like Drummond's starting to hit threes now. You see what I'm saying? Marc Gasol is somebody I saw in his career. Like, look at JaMychal Green last night when he was with Memphis. I watched his whole career with Memphis. He was decent, but last night, look how Golden State has trained him and the confidence of it. And when you got the green light to shoot and then you can continue to always do that. So, as I was saying, this has been your boy B New. I just want to say, man, right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.